Okay, welcome everyone to the 14th Chinese Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and it is auspiciously Tuesday, July 14th, 2015. And we'll start the workshop with the promotional video for the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute with the Chinese subtitles. Determined.
Where does humanity go from here? What have we tried to do? What if there is more, much more? The Keshe Foundation is proud to announce a new way to bring humanity forward through technology that brings humanity in line with the natural operation of the planet and universe itself. The new science and technology discovered and developed by the nuclear engineer Moran Keshe centers upon the use and control of magnetical gravitational fields. This new body of knowledge opens the road to hundreds of potential applications, which offer solutions to most of the fundamental problems of the world, such as water, food, environmental contamination, and shortages of energy. The Keshe Foundation is proud to unveil the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Nestled amidst the beautiful shores of Bari, Italy, the Institute is poised to become a central hub in the spreading of plasma technology and knowledge. With its state-of-the-art 21st century facilities, the Institute will be able to provide students and staff an immersive way to learn the plasma technology, to be the leaders of the new generation of scientists and plasma engineers. The Keshe Foundation has opened the door to the world for peaceful usage of technology that is independent of the limited resources that are available on Earth. This is an understanding of how everything works together in harmony in our universe, and it applies to everything from the smallest to the biggest, from atoms to galaxies. We all are able to collectively work together in pursuit of knowledge, innovation, and solutions for our society. This learning environment is new to the world, where there will be no test to confirm your understanding. The knowledge of everyone will be respected and allowed to flourish in a nurturing environment. Hands-on testing and experimenting will be widely used in conjunction with roundtable discussions to bring all opinions and knowledge forward. Students will be introduced to a change in the ethos of working in collaboration. Students will experience firsthand how we share knowledge in a free and open manner. Graduating students are expected to share the knowledge they gain from the university within their respective communities and nations. All formal teachings, lectures, and presentations will be in the English language, with technology available for immediate translation. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be offering 3-year executive master programs for undergraduate degree students and 1-year executive master programs for graduate degree students in the following fields: space transportation, new plasma technology, health, agriculture, materials, energy. The health section is designed to make students able to live in space without the need to return to Earth. To this end, the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute has found processes for many diseases including ALS, cancer, coma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will offer online teaching courses which will enable anyone, anywhere around the world to enroll and increase their knowledge and understanding. Students will have the opportunity to direct their work towards commercial spin-offs and seek funding through the help of the Keshe Foundation. The access to the new science and new technologies is openly available for peaceful use to the benefit of mankind to make a better world today. Now you can be part of the changing world and the new knowledge. All commercial spin-offs are intended to be open source and patent-free. This is part of the core ethos of the Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will have its official inauguration on April 21st, 2015, with courses commencing soon after on May 4th, 2015. The students of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be the leaders of the future who will make changes in all areas of space technology, science, medicine, agriculture, and energy. Anyone is able to apply, but acceptance is through invitation only. No prerequisites are required. We will be accepting approximately 250 students for the 3-year Executive Master's Program and 120 students for the 1-year Executive Master's Program. We welcome humanity's participation in the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Where does humanity go from here? That is up to you. Apply today.
That's the promotional video for the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And now we'll move into the main part of the workshop with Mr. Keshe. Mr. Keshe, are you there? There's the video. We pull you into focus there. Can't quite hear you yet.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can now.
I forgot to connect myself. So
Can we get the other student microphone to be turned off, please?
the student microphone to switch off. Close. It's closed. Hello?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for today's workshop. Today's, as usual, must be the Chinese workshop. Can we, is Lisa there to let us what is for us to learn from our Chinese colleagues?
OK，刚才是我们放了这个太空学院的就是广告片。宣传片，然后后来瑞克说，我们现在第14次中文广播教学，中文广播就是网络教学开始，然后请凯始先生说话，是不是在那里？然后凯始先生说感谢大家参加我们这次教学，然后说看看是不是今天有什么东西可以跟向我们展示。
Hi Lisa, what do you have for us?
Yes, we have some videos we can show first.
There is a thing, Lisa, before you start, we have a situation, as you know, in China, with Mr. Hui having no more association with the Keshe Foundation, and the new technologies which is to be built for the Chinese community. I would like to ask the Chinese community collectively if you like or if you want to find or organize yourself in a group or association or a company where we transfer all the blueprints of the industrial units to you for production in China. The Keshe Foundation has, due to decision of Mr. Hui, has disconnected himself from the operation of Mr. Hui. So the industrial part stays with the Chinese community. How you want us to do it? Who do we give the patents to, or what do you call it, the blueprints to, that you create your own organizations for production of the industrial unit, like the power units, the new wireless power units, the flight systems, and the medical system. We need that to be cleared by the Chinese Keshe Foundation. How you want to do it, and who is going to accept responsibility to develop it in China.
OK，凯始先生说，在我们这个教学开始之前，我想跟你们说一件事情就是 Mr. Hui 现在已经和我们凯始基金会脱离了关系那么就是说下边希望我们中国社区团队你们能够自己来就是说组织公司或者组织这种协会，然后来继续我们一起合作开发，这样我们可以把我们的开发的结果，比如说蓝图等等，可以就是说完全传递给你们。说希望大家 这方面就是说组织起来，然后看看你们如何怎么样做能够更好其中包括我们的这个电源，就是无线系统，还有这个医疗方面的所有的这些方面的合作。OK。Mr.
Okay,
Cash。
I'll leave it to you. Let us know how you decide.
OK 开始先说说让我们知道，看看你们就说你们是怎样决定的，然后让我们就说通知我们，然后看看怎么做。
Okay, can we have your videos, please?
OK 开始先说现在呢，我们可以放一下这个视频了。Rick, which
I have the video ready.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so
Please.
I think I only have one video. I wasn't able to find the other video, Max. So if somebody else has it, they can definitely share it. But let me try to share it through here.
Okay, thank you. 问子说他现在只有一个视频，因为我们之前提到可能还有一个视频，但是现在只有一个，那么我们就先放这一个视频如果是有另外一个视频可以 share 的话，可以然后到时候再放。所以现在先放这个今天的品应该是这个路人的这个干司机。
Okay, you ready? Can you see the video, Mr. Kesh?
I can see a picture of some wires.
I don't think I'm going to play the audio, or should I play the audio, Lisa?
You play the video.
With the audio?
I don't know the audio has any. Do they have any?
We'll play it without and see if we need it.
OK。刚才问子说你们看见我们这个视频，然后开始说只能看见一个图片。We are looking at a machine made by a Chinese firm, and he said this one supposed can make gains very fast. This system is a DC with the I think the maximum of the voltage is a 5 volt and the high frequency. So it's just give to the electrode the high frequency output, so it can make gains fast. But the question is, we want to know whether they are gains or not, and also what's the cautious should we take when we make machine like this.
This looks like what Armin was doing, that you advised to stop it due to what was happening. Is that right, Mr. Kesh?
Same, yeah. But depends if it's the zinc is making zinc oxide or is it making CO2. You need for the CO2 to have a copper nanocoated. I don't see that copper nanocoated anywhere, or is it at the bottom? Don't forget, even when you produce zinc in this way, it still is in a gaseous state. This process, you still produce GANs of zinc, but it doesn't matter if it's zinc oxide or whatever, but it's not in a matter state, it's in a GANs state, because the same process happened with zinc plate. You're releasing the top layers. But to create a GANs of CO2, a lot of people use high salt content. The best way to know if you're producing a pure GANs of CO2 is to stick your plates outside the frame, not inside the box. And you find out you produce very little, but it's a pure CO2, not any zinc oxide with it, or any combination of the connection with carbon or with calcium in the water. To me, this is creating a zinc oxide GANs material.
Okay, I will translate.
You need to make any kind of gases as a GANs. You need that process of copper oxide with a zinc to create the magnetic field of the carbon. We explained this in detail in one of the teachings, how you get the magnetic field of the carbon and then oxygen attaches to it, it becomes CO2. You don't extract CO2 completely from the atmosphere.
OK，开始解释说这个过程呢，你要区分它是组成会形成新干丝呢，还是说氧化新干丝？因为这个时候的话，很有可能是新干丝，就是说这上面一层的锌脱离了这个锌，然后组成了干丝。还有就是说如果你要是想制造二氧化碳干丝的话，就一定要有氧化铜。纳米材料，开始说看不见这个是里边有纳米，就是说氧化铜纳米材料的，就是说这个电极在哪里？说是不是在底下还是在哪里？说你如果要是想制造二氧化碳干丝的话，你也一定要让这个就是这个电极的话，一定要出来水面，不能再完全在水下。还有就是说你想制造二氧化碳干丝的话，一定要制造一个碳的干丝的这个碳的这个环境，然后和氧气一起制造出二氧化碳干丝，就是说不是说完全从空气中吸收二氧化碳来制造二氧化碳干丝。还有石头，你能再翻译一下别的吗？补充一下。
我这边没有，因为我这边有点断续，但是我可以播放第二个视频。
OK，还有就说，好像没了，差不多了，就这样了。OK，so we need to ask the question about this one.
Can I remind you something? Because this is the last Chinese program before we break up for the holidays in August. Please ask the Chinese viewers and supporters to watch the next Thursday. Or am I correct? This is the last one, I presume. Or is there another one?
Rick?
Is this the last Chinese session before the breakup of the holidays?
I'm not 100% sure. Rick, can you answer that?
We have one more. We have one more. In any way, I just inform you before you know, do not miss the Thursday, the 29th of July workshop. The last workshop, I think it'll be very important to the Chinese and the others because you will have a very nice, what do you call it, presentation. We're hoping that we can carry it through, but it'll be very interesting for the Chinese community.
OK，Let me translate。凯先生说，因为这个有可能是我们去8月份放假的最后一个中国教学，也许不是，但是就是说想跟大家提醒一下，就是说希望大家不要就是说错过7月29号的这个教学，因为这个教学比较重要然后我们中国这个社区，因为我们做的工作比较好所以呢希望就是说中国社区呢能够就是参加就是说这个教学就是这样。Okay.
Okay, the next video.
Rujun can show it. So.
Yes, I'm just sharing it.
Need to share. Yeah, thank you. 下一个是展示另外一个视频。This one is making nano copper. So how to quick make a nano. This is the same machine, but it's just a
Lisa, could you get him to turn down the volume to off? Great, thank you. Thank you, Jen. So is that actually creating nano copper? Is that what you said? Was it copper or CO2?
Yeah, it's copper. It's nano. It's making the red one, the positive electron. Look, it's become black.
Oh, okay. So you're nano coating the copper.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So it's like a minute, 2 minutes.
And is that in salt water? Or is it distilled water?
Water. Let me ask them. Should be.
Have they used these nano coated products to create the other materials like the GANs in a slow fashion instead of the fast fashion?
That one was a fast fashion.
Right, but
like
really
quick.
To create the nanomaterial on the wire, but have they tried creating like CO2 with that wire in the slow method instead of the fast method?
I didn't understand. Could you repeat again?
Okay. So they create the nano-coated layer or the nano-coated copper layers on the copper, as we see here in the video, in a quick method, right?
Yes.
In the previous video.
Excuse me. There is a guy who's developed the system. I think we're looking at it. Marco creates nanomaterial.
This is the one. These are the videos, Mr. Kesh, of the person.
Is the same guy?
Yes.
Yeah, same guy.
Okay, can you ask him to get in touch with us through my private email, please?
Sure.
We need to, we are prepared to develop his technology for the Cash Foundation.
Okay.
We explain to him if he needs a translation to contact Melissa if you organize a time with him online. We would like to take this as part of the material that foundation can provide in the shop for a specific reason. We explain to you offline later on. We've been looking for him if he's the same guy with the units.
Yes, OK。我翻译一下啊。开始先生说，说这个机器跟前面那个仪器是一个人做的吗？然后我回答说是的。开始说先生说让这个人呢和开始基金会联系，可以通过 Lisa 或者就说或者叫人翻译跟我联系。那么因为我们需要这样的人可以做这个仪器，然后开发这个产品。所以路人到时候跟我联系一下吧。
Let me explain something to our Chinese followers, supporters. If you develop a technology or a method or a system that we see or you think we can use in development of the plasma technology, be it on energy or whatever, the Cash Foundation here in Italy, as the headquarters of Cash Foundation Research, will support you to commercialize it. And if we see it correct, it'll go directly on the Cash Foundation shop site from now on, which means we support your development and you'll be benefited by it. You decide the price, what you think it's worth can be sold, and we market it for you. If you cannot commercialize it, we'll find a way to commercialize it in Europe. We make a package out of it, and we send it back to you in China, or here we develop it, or other people can do around the world. From now on, the commercialization of the developments by other scientists and plasma scientists, what I call, is supported fully by the foundation now that we have opened a new center. This is one of the systems which I've been looking for. Marco showed it to me a couple of weeks ago, I think. And now we are prepared to market this immediately, and then I explain to you the reasons for it.
OK，凯里先生说我现在想跟我们就说中国这个社区的这个团队说一句话，就是如果你认为你的这个你做出来的任何单元，比如能量单元啊，还有这种仪器任何东西如果你认为就是说比较有价值的话，或者可以商业化的话，那么你可以跟我们联系，我们开始基金会给你完全的支持，同时呢，我们可以帮助你来进行商业推广。如果产品可以在我们网站上直接可以销售就是说可以就是我们网站的这个商店里边直接销售可以，所以说你有任何东西呢，你可以跟我们就说展示，可以看一看，如果认为用的话就说可以我们可以一起做推广，还有我们意大利的新的这个研发中心马上就是已经开始了，大概是有几天了吧这个呢我们也是可以作为就是研发和技术推广石头还有什么翻译吗？
没有了。
OK。是
不是该提问了？
对呀，我要问一下，刚才那个盐水这个是什么液体啊？没说一下这个就是制造纳米层这个机器。
大姐。
是碱，it's a caustic.
No.
The video just showed the liquid is a caustic.
Oh, it's a caustic liquid that you're coating in already. So it's still the same liquid, just adding the voltage while you're coating it with the frequency. Okay, I understand. Rick, did you want to share the PDF and we can go through the questions? I think we should keep on schedule here, on track.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I think
we have two, right? We have two PDFs, Lisa. So we'll do the first one that Max said first.
Yes.
Okay, there's a question. I could read the question if you like.
PDF. Okay. Wait a minute. 石头，我们是要先做哪个 PDF 呢？是关胖子的，还是说整体问题的？
整体问题的，先从第二个问题开始。
第二个问题开始？第二个问题已经完了。
已经完了，那就从第一个开始。
Okay. The long question, not the.
Pardon me.
The fat boy one. We have two PDFs. One is the fat boy. I don't know what's the name.
Right.
One is the fat boy.
One's the
other is
the question list.
The question of this of 13.
14th. Yeah. So 14th. We start with that, right? Question number 1. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Question number 1 is, in the 30th health workshop, Mr. Cash announced that the experiment of remote treatment of cancer will be carried out in June. I was wondering whether there were plans to treat autism, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and mental retardation in children, and whether the Kesh Foundation has carried out researches on treatment of children with autism. How could we access it? And a secondary question, whether we can treat and cure autistic disorder, ADHD, mentally retardation by adding zinc oxide GANs in the drinking water. Would you please tell us the correct method? Thank you.
我翻译一下，就是说这个问题是这样子的，说开始在第30次教学中说6月份讲对远程进行癌症治疗的实验，说不知道这个计划对，就说是否有要做对这个自闭症、多动症还有智障儿童的远程治疗，说利用氧化锌干丝放在饮水中是不是可以治疗和改善这些个就是说病症。然后说，请你告诉我们这个正确的方法，然后还有如何，就是说我们怎么样才能就是联系这种，就是说这种治疗，就是说在什么地点，然后如何参加，请开始先生给就是说解答。OK， Mr. Cash.
Yeah. The process of what we said, the cancer in June has already started. We were supposed to carry this process with Mr. Hoy in China, and we have aborted any collaboration with Mr. Hoy at this moment. And so the process is 2 cases under consideration. We found, as I informed at that time with Mr. Hoy, that we found weaknesses in part of the system. Not the weakness in a way, we needed to do it more in detail. I hope I was told that to cover the gap in the system, a program has been bought or will be bought in the coming days to fulfill the whole structure, and then we add to what we are doing and we build it up. The Center for Research for Cancer is set up and will become fully operative in September the 15th in the research center. They receive their own allocated area for whatever he wants to do, and then we bring doctors who can support to analyze the data. In respect to autism, attention deficiency, ADHD, and mental retardation in children, we have a lot of research in this area. We've done a lot of work, and there is a huge success with a lot of them, a lot of cases, but it needs a close monitoring. And a lot of them are reversible. A lot of ADHD, we don't call it as an illness. I call it in a program we thought as a hierarchy control. And so can you correct it by zinc oxide? I don't think so. Would you please call us the corrective method? You cannot do it with zinc oxide. These kind of conditions needs these are many what I call, it's not a disease. It's just that to understand the position of how they position themselves in the society and whatever they do to get attention. So I don't see, you cannot do it with the oxide or zinc oxide, and zinc oxide is not a solution for these kind of things. It's a behavior pattern. In a way, they know what they are doing, and they want to sit at the throne of the control. There is no medicine for it. It's just you have to understand, go back on the teaching, and I explain how to do it.
OK， 凯先生解答说这个关于癌症治疗的实验，我们已经现在已经开始了然后呢，因为就是说Miss Hoy 是在做这个事情，然后说可能是系统有点问题，还要继续再做一下，说好像已经就是有了2套系统过来这个呢。我们会继续进行的。纠正一下，刚才说因为是那个能量的东西嘛，说开始说就是说不和就是说Miss Hoy 那个合作了，所以那个东西就是说谁想就是说关于能量的方面，那么跟开始联系。然后这个是医学方面，医学方面说就是说下一步呢会再继续就是说要测试，然后再进行那么还有关于问到这个自闭症这些个问题自闭症的话，这些个说不是一个就是说不是疾病，因为是一个就是说行为上的问题，所以呢我们这个治疗是不需要药的，就是因为问要不要喝这个氧化锌这个水，说不认为不可以。还有其他的问题，你再补充一下吧，石头。
没有，就是他说这个不要用这个氧化锌和这些东西来去做，因为它每个病症都是比较复杂的情况，需要具体病症具体针对来做。
Okay. Next question, yeah.
Okay, next question. The frequency of Chinese AC power supply is 50 hertz, while the frequency of American AC power supply is 60 hertz. In the recently released home power system, whether the AC power will automatically adjust the frequency according to the load.
Yes, because it's in a plasmatic level, not in an electron vibration.
OK. 刚才的问题就是说，在刚刚发布的家庭发电系统当中，如果采用交换电的方式的话，频率是否要经过专业设置的调制？假如中国居民家庭供电频率是50赫兹，那么美国是60赫兹，那么就是说我们如果这样的话，是不是需要对这个负载进行自我调整？开始说不需要的，说这个因为我们是等离子体的这个，所以可以自动直接就调整。
Couldn't we say that the input voltage would be the condition that it's put in the first place? So whatever you put into it, it would be the output. Is that what you could say, Mr. Kesh?
No, it can have, this is what they explained before, because the energy transfer is in a plasmatic. Even if you have a power supply which goes from one country to another, one country uses a 50, another one 60, it does not look at the vibration or the frequency. It carries its own structure out, because at the end of the day, the system is independent of the condition, environmental condition. It's a plasma transfer.
OK 刚才问一个问题是说就是说那么是不是说我们就是说给它一个输入50赫兹，然后那么我们然后开始回答说是这样子的，说要记住我们这是一个等离子体。所以这个能量是以等离子体形式出去的，所以说不是说这个电子的这个就是振动的这个频率是50赫兹还是多少伏就是说就是意思就是说跟这个没有什么就是说只限制。
Okay, perhaps we'll go on to the next one.
I want to give Lisa a good hand and clap for her translations over the last 14 workshops. I think she's doing a fantastic job, and just want to say thanks, Lisa.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
A brief word from our sponsor here.
刚才，我先说一下，刚才魏子就说谢谢我这些次翻译啊。Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the next question was the video that we already saw, I guess, the 2 videos. And we got an answer on that. So we'll go to the third question, which is on, it's from Hongyu. And it's called, what is the nanoparticles as mentioned in the Alex system PDF document? It shows a picture of the...
You choose.
You choose, you said?
Yes, you choose what you like. But this is what I even explained, I was talking about with the Arman and Marco in the past week or so. You do not need to replicate. You find out what you have to understand the principle, the rest is yours. You decide if you want to use CO2, you want to use copper oxide, but remember something very important. It is important for many reasons. When you start making dynamic system, we explain it. Now I go back to it. Don't get trapped again, all stuck to one system. Try to develop new system of your own and try to extend the knowledge. This was a base work. And don't get trapped that you have to copy. Copy the concept, understand the concept, but don't copy the whole thing. Remember one thing, any GANs you use has to have a power of mixture. What does this mean? When you use the GANs, if you look, you make a mixture of a higher order, make a mixture of a lower order, make a mixture of middle order. So by order means the strength. And when you mix these in a combination, you keep it active with like caustic or something else, the plasma flow strength between these layers is what does the work. These 3 are like 3 spheres in a base reactor. Because one is moving, is dynamic, is transferring energy. This one is following, transferring energy. So here it looks to you a solid state, but in fact it's a gradient in motion. That's why when you had a wire, you put inside whatever gas mixture which you made. Now you have created a gradient of material. That's where the work comes from. It doesn't matter what you put as a gas. Try to choose very strong gas, a medium gas, and a weak gas, that you create a gradient of motion of the field. This is the principle, irrelevant of if you use copper, zinc, titanium, or whatever. So when you do your first wrapping, or when you put your nano-coated material inside, that's where the trick is. If you notice, he put titanium oxide, he put copper, what they call zinc oxide, and then he put in brass oxide. Because then it's the mixture. The motion to you, it looks like solid, but in fact it's a very dynamic situation because each one carries its own plasma and the plasma continues to transfer. And what happened in this transfer of the plasmas between each other, it creates an environment that it has now a cell of one plasma which can absorb Cu, absorbs oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and other things which was in the mixture. So when you have these plasmas in these containers, then what you do, you have your star formation or whatever around. whatever it released, because you loaded the star formation core, whatever it released links immediately. That decides the power of your reactor, the power of the power supply, not what do you call it, what he used. Do you want to translate this?
Yes. 凯瑞先生说这个纳米粒子的话，你是可以任何做的，就说是看你选择，你有什么东西，然后你认为什么可以，你就可以选择。然后但是要记住一点，就是说你在做这个系统的时候，不是说要完全跟我们复制，或者就被我们这个给限制住卡死了。你要想到这是一个动态系统，然后你要做一个自己你的新的系统，或者就是说在这个知识上有所增加，你要懂得这个原理，就是说实际上任何的干丝混合起来你都是可以用的。然后要想到这是一个等离子体，那么就是说你做这个混合物的时候呢，你最好是说能够做从强度高到低不同的这个就说混合，你可以做一个高的、一个中的、一个低的。那么这些个就说因为它们有不同的这种等离子体这种混合，那么它们就有不同的这种运动成分。那么虽然呢这个东西你看上去是固体，实际上它们都是不同的等离子体，它们都是在运动的。所以呢你要懂这个原理，而不是说完全去照做同时呢你如果旁边如果放着一个反应器的话，那么你这个东西里边，因为你反应器里边你放二氧化碳干丝，你放 CH 干丝或者什么什么棒的，那么你这个电池里边有这些个成分的话，它们之间就会直接进行连接，这样呢就会直接具有能量的供给。所以说这一点建议大家呢，就说你复制这个东西就说不要完全的复制，就说不同样的这么做，你一定要懂得原理以后，然后你再去发展，然后根据你的这个想法，然后再去做就是这些。Okay.
Okay. Now, if you see, then what he's done two things. This is the wrapping. This is cutting across one of the beads. He has taken out of the wrapping, any energy might be released out, back in. That in energy release, it feeds back inside, so no energy is lost because it's of the same. Then he's taken another one and he links it up to the next center line. So in a way, this is what is done, another box. So if there is a demand in this box, the flow will flow on, and then that on, again from the same lining. So because the system is self-controlled, you don't lose any energy and you don't need a battery. That's why it looks so strange that you have a power supply without a battery. These feedbacks are the control line of what it needs to be released. Because in a way, when you connect it to here and when you connect to here, you allow, if it's needed as a current, to go through. If there is no demand, then there is no need. So in a way, these feedbacks are the controls. And then because it's strengthened up, you're controlling a different strength along the line. That's what it does. That's how it has been set. The new structure which we set in the lab, we showed when it's done, when we do our testing completed, we have chosen a different approach to the same thing, because then we will show what the different approach is and what they'll dictate. But that's all it's done. So it takes the potential difference or plasma difference between the two blinds. What is needed is fed on according to the demand of this. and what is not needed is fed back. So continuously has a flow. And our flow, because of the different material, is in-house. And that's why you see increase in the power demand in a very little structure, very little amount of material. So that's why you don't need a battery, because these chains are the regulators of the energy. They control it. It's a nano layer, so it continuously keeps controls, but you control at different levels. You want to translate, Lisa?
OK, thank you.开始说这个东西，我们现在看一下这个系统，就说是怎么样子的。首先呢，它是说我们这个有一个就是给它包起来的，那么这样的话，它这个不同的层之间的这个能量的传输呢，最后就会在内部循环起来，就会回去，尤其是在它连回去之后呢，这样的话就会有一个自动的自己的这个供给系统。另外如果是在连接到另外一个上面的时候，就是右边这个图的时候呢，他说如果这边有一个能量，就说有一个差值的话，那边如果有需求的话呢，那么它就会供给。如果就是说这边不要的话呢，它自己会回到原来的这个就是正极再输回去，所以这样呢，它会有一个自我的控制，这样呢就会不需要这个电池了，所以就说等于是自己有一个有个循环系统，那么外界呢根据需求它会供给，然后同时呢就说外界不需求的它就不供给，会自己回到自己内部。然后上面刚才讲的时候呢，我落了一个，就说有一个中间有一个纳米铜线，他说这个纳米铜线呢也是在这个就是在这个系统里边嘛。所以会就是说这个能量级别会就是和这个里边的这个干丝材料会作用，刚才是说的这个。OK.
Okay. But you remember all the time, it's important always consider and understand these flows. Everything is in a plasmatic state, not electron vibration. This is the difference between the two systems, and I keep on repeating it till you understand. Your current, your voltage production is not a current and voltage in matter state, is in a plasma state. So at a point of need, in a way, when you connect it to any system, they deliver a plasma energy, not electron vibration energy. And that's why, as it's a plasma, the system, if it's, let's say, it's a radio system, will take what it needs. If it's a refrigerator, will take the AC. If it is a computer, it takes a DC. So it chooses in what 60 hertz or 50 hertz. Then the system, as it's set up, will take a plasmatic energy, delivers a plasmatic energy, and the system works totally on plasma, not on electron vibration. Even though you see the working, but everything, when you have a circuit like this, is one package. Everything literally works on totally DC, even the system is AC.
OK. 这个就说有一点希望大家记住，我们这个是完全是在等离子体的这个情况下工作的，所以呢就说我们的电压呀，不是说电子的振动，不是就说我们物质层次的这个电流，这个等离子体呢，它是说你在你需要什么，在哪里需要，它就会用以等离子体的方式来输出。那么你如果是一个空调的话，就可能会需要交流，那么计算机的话就是直流电，那么都会在你需要的点给输出。即使你看着他们工作，实际上呢也不是普通的这个我们的这个就是物质层次的电子振动的这个场，都是这个等离子体的这个场的工作。 就是这一点，希望大家能够记住。Okay, Mr. Cash.
Now you have an option of the two. This way you create current, the potential force area. Okay, so if you understood this, do you understand? Doesn't matter how you produce. It'll be very interesting that if, for example, you use, let's say, CO2 in this, you use CH2 or CO2 here, you use CO3 in the next one, or vice versa. You put the weaker at the beginning, and then you start building pressure. These are the way you can increase your plasmatic pressure, because here you take 1 watt, here you take 100 watts, here you take 200 watts. Now the game has changed because you don't need a generator. Your mixture release of energy by the plasma of the GANs dictates a power supply. You decide in which position. If you, let's say, if you take a CH3 mixture here, and all the basis of the material is the same, here you produce, let's say, 1 kilowatt hour. Here you do with CO2, you produce, according to the ratio, let's say 2 kilowatt hour. Here you go for CuO2, you create according to, let's say, 3 kilowatt hour. Then you can join these up, and then you understand very clearly you get 6 kilowatts, because this is impossible in the electronic system. But here the plasma feeds what it needs to this channel, but it still sees the demand of this. It releases from the reserve. So partially you take this, partially now added to this, you take the next one. This is the beauty of working with plasma. Your generators, you decide. The power display, you decide. You can even run systems in parallel or in series with each other. If you make another circuit here immediately next to it, put the CO2 here instead of the CH3. And then you do the next one. And then you can decide how you want to siphon energy. It's a freedom man never had in energy production. You just by mixing different gases dictate the power release or absorb. You want to translate?
OK，就是开始先说这个呢，你是就说看你怎么样做，就说如何做都可以的，就说看你怎么样，就是说需求，而且你这些个就是不同的这个连接起来的这个一部分一部分的，你可以用不同的这个干丝来做的，达到这个不同的效果。那么它是说第一层呢，如果就是说往下一层输出，如果你可以在第一个，比如说 CH3，你比如举个例子，你可以取是1000千瓦，第二个二氧化碳可以是2000千瓦，然后铜可以是3000千瓦，而且你也可以把它们一起来。就是说同时用，你也可以分别用，然后你就是说看你的这边的需求，就说你设计出来可以就是说怎么样需要的能量你就可以取，然后说这个是我们人类所具有的最就是说我们的这种自由，你可以就是说类似于随心所欲吧。就是这个样子的。然后那个他刚才讲了一下，因为它是不同的级连接起来嘛，一级一级的，每一个的话可以有不同的输出，就是说它是说这个因为每一个自己的系统是一个能够自我控制、自平衡的系统如果这边有需求的话，那么它可以给传输过去，然后如果多余的呢，就是说可以自己供回给自己的那个能量流动，就是这个样子的因为在看开始现在在跟他们说话。Okay, Mr. Cash.
Next question.
Yeah. 下一个问题。Next question.
Second here, okay.
It says, when will Keshe Foundation publish the text of the health workshops? This is was initially done by Mr. Hoy. And now you have to decide if you can find somebody to do it. And then you send it to New Zealand to Dr. Van Dorp. I cannot remember. I cannot forget his surname. It's my mother-in-law's surname. If you can forget your mother-in-law, you can forget everything. So you send Dr. Van Dorp in New Zealand, and he makes the books of the Keshe Foundation on the Amazon.
开始说这个原来的话，这个就是健康教学的这个文本的话是由 Mr. Hoy 做的。那么现在呢，是不是可以你们看看有其他的人可以做？如果做好了，可以送给是巴西吗？是哪儿啊？新西兰是不是啊？给另外一个先生，然后那个先生叫就是 Rodolph 还是什么然后因为开始说就说能记住他的这个姓我老是记不住他的名，因为他的姓是跟他母亲的这个姓就是一个，所以他能记住。Next question.
Okay. We have a question 4. What effect?
I cannot understand the picture.
Well, he's got, I guess I have to show both pictures here, which is figure 2 and figure 3. And the question being, what effect will be caused by double helix reactors as shown above? So what I see is he's got basically 2 reactors on a sort of a single shaft, and you would have apparently two reactors. He believes that 2 reactors and 1 motor mounted on the 3-hole plate might generate double helix magravs.
I don't understand what it means.
Yeah, I think we would have to see it running to see what exactly it would do.
I think it means just a spinning on the middle axis instead of spinning on the reactor axis. So the 2 reactors are spinning around each other on their the middle point of those reactors.
Right, one being a ping pong ball, one being a spherical head. It's apparently.
You got to see it. I don't know exactly what it means. If you put the 2.
Yeah, and it shows a pipe connector. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be between the 2 spheres or exactly how that works.
I think this goes back to try it and report back to us.
Yes.
OK 这个问题的话是大家都没明白这是个什么问题，怎么回事，怎么连的，就是全没懂然后说Wins 给提的建议就说你最好自己试试，然后看看什么结果回来再跟我们就是分享。
Do we have any news from the big boy?
We do.
That's a surprise. I'm not supposed to tell you about it yet.
This the other PDF file was the question, and
yeah, there's just 2 more. Well, actually 4 more questions.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, let's try to run through them a little quicker. We want to get to the fat boy one, and we're going to run into the health workshop here again.
Okay.
But we definitely want to get the other one in there because I know Mr. Keshe is anxious for it.
Okay, we're going to go into speed mode.
Junction with the hot system is connected to the gas battery as shown in the picture. Is Alex on the phone online?
I don't see him. No.
Okay, this is the question I know about that. Because we had a discussion about the the two rings on the right side and on the left side is a single PTS. So this one they connected together. So the question is whether they should be connected. You see the right one, they have
no, there is no gas battery in this, so I don't see what the question is.
The question is whether the PTS NPN device are on the box.
No, I don't know. If you've done it, let us know. Next question.
Okay, question number 6.
Oh, he says, why don't you put forward some mathematical formulas in your papers and books? It would make your book seem more scientific and thus easier to be accepted by average. We're targeting the scientists and the mathematicians will have no job in this space. So you start calculating by the time you find out we're already gone. That's why I don't put anything down in mathematics. As I always said, God doesn't have a scale. If you understand the principle, it means you haven't understood the language of the universe. So please keep on calculating.
OK 这个问题就是说，问凯史先生，你这个在你的这个著作里边没有放一些数学公式和一些个特别就是标准化的这个科技的证明，这样呢，说这样是不是就可以既照顾了这些科学家和这个同样也是普通人然后凯史的回答就是说。这个如果你还不能明白这个的话，就石头你翻译一下，我怎么翻译不出来呀？说你就等于是这个我们的这个知识和这个科学家什么没有关系。
就说如果说这是一个宇宙的语言呢，讲了一些宇宙的运作原理，如果说这些用这种语言普通语言讲述出来的宇宙的原理还没有理解的话，那么你用数学的话，就等于说，是可能没什么用的。就最后那一句。
Let me explain something to you. If you can count the number of the gases which are, let's say, in this bottle, and you can individually count every single one and its condition, then you can write a mathematical formula. This is how much you haven't understood, and this is interesting. So as you see this bottle and the number of gases in it, if you can count it, measure it, and consider every atom of its energy which is in there, then it will be interesting to see how the mathematical equation will work. Because in the plasma process, in the electron vibration process, you can count, but in the plasma process, is impossibility because even the material inside themselves are interacted with the materials and the environment outside. It's not what is in there, it's how the fields inside interact with the rest of the environment. So there is no way you can write any mathematical formulas for plasma in respect to anything else because
it's too dynamic.
Pardon?
It's too dynamic. To be able to write a formula, you'd have to write a formula for every millisecond you can think of.
So many ways, yes. But that's why we move out of into a free plasma rotation.
OK， 开始解释说，如果我先举个例子，我现在有这一瓶子干丝，你如果能给我把这个里边的干丝给我数出来有多少个同时呢，你能描述出每一个干丝的这个相互作用，然后你再计算，那么就是说 就说，如果能够做到这一点，那么还可以。他说，因为这个是我们现在是我们面对的问题是一个等离子体，那么等离子体呢，所有的场都是相互作用的，而且是不限于我们这些个干丝的粒子，而且是就是说跟周围的所有的场都是一个相互作用的关系。温斯解释说就是中间插进来话说因为这个是一个动态的，所以就是说每时每刻都在动的，那么你就是说你要是想描述它的话你需要描述所有的动态，那么就会开始说，所以说就是说基本上就是说不太可能。
Okay, let's go on to the next question. Does the plasma have anything to do with perpetual motion machine?
Perpetual motion in the universe, yes, because it comes from the interaction of the gravitational magnetic field. And if the sun is a perpetual motion machine, yes.
这个开始说是是的，就是说这个翻译的，我感觉说想请教一下，等离子体和永动机有什么联系吗？它这永动机它用过 perpetual， 不是，然后开始说是的，他说这个宇宙是一个就说这种永动机石头是这样翻译的吗？
Okay. Next question. How could we improve our spiritual and vibration level?
Try to make a gas which is pure. I'll show you in the time coming. So you have to be able. There are certain gases which have a special effect because the fields they release in gravitational magnetic field is very close to the man's soul and emotion, and you can build this system, and then you can dictate.
Okay.
Testing a condition now for one of the cancer cases.
OK，下一个问题问的就是说，怎么样才能提高我们这个就说我们这个灵性和这个我们这个振动的频率然后开始说你做干丝，然后将来我会告诉你如何他说因为这个干丝的话呢是有一个和我们灵魂会相互作用的好像是这么说的吧。因为会跟我们灵魂相互作用，那么就是说可以通过这个系统或者可以调节，然后改变我们的这个就是说灵性。
Okay, and the final question on this first question list is how can we reduce the toxicity of pesticides and herbicides? Is there any simple methods?
Yes, you can choose a very powerful guns or a very weak guns. And then you mix it, and you can do it in the land contaminated if you want to reduce. And what happened, it literally takes the energy from it. It locks into it. We're going to show this as one of the spin-offs in the new center, how you reduce and the systems you can produce to do this.
Okay.
这个问题就是问如何来就是说对这种农药和除草剂的这个毒性怎么样去除，就是说有没有任何简单的方法？开始说你把那个一个最强的干丝和一个最弱的干丝放在一起，然后呢就可以对这个处理就可以锁定它这个说我们现在有一个这种就是分离公司在做这事情。因为开始比较急于看这个 Fat Boy， 所以说我们想把这个问题快点结束，所以下面会展示这个胖子的这个问题。
Okay, let's move on to the so-called fat boy questions here because we have to keep it moving here.
Okay. Ah, this is your surprise, is it?
Fat boy.
Okay,
After
so
returning a fat boy, he's become a slim. He's been running too long. That's what he says. That's some
Not really. I will tell you the adventure of the fat boy.
okay.
Okay. Okay, you can go ahead, Rick. The description.
Description is after 2 weeks of running the fat boy, somehow the fat boy had been tore apart. So I found 4 impressions on the surface of the inner globe, which looked like a plasma structure as the picture below with the flash lamp on. I'll show the pictures in a second here. First, I'll read the rest. I assembled the fat boy yesterday, and after 2 hours running, I can feel the maggrav field around with my hand, just like some ants biting your skin, but much weaker. And today afternoon, the field increased to 20 centimeters away. There's a picture below indicating that the mobile phone was affected by the maggrav field of Fat Boy a week ago. So you see in figure 1, it's a little hard for me to read, but
What are we looking at? Is that the telephone?
that's, I believe that's the telephone, mobile phone affected by the maggrav field. And then below that, though, is the pictures of what he calls the impressions on the surface of the inner globe that looks like a plasma structure. So,
yeah. Those fat boys was because the person has it. He has to go to another place to work, so he send fat boy to another person. So during the shipment, it was opened up by the shipping company. So that's why they opened it up and found those marks. He used the expressions, not expressions, marks. So he said, because in this picture you see the white part, and in the middle that's where the that's the motor axle. So it's connected to the reactor here. So the reactor just above this one. So this is the inside of the fat boy. It looks like a white field. Yes, those 3.
Yeah, do you see what she's talking about, Mr. Kesh, there?
Yeah, I can see a picture, but I don't understand what it means.
So basically, it wasn't like that before they started running the reactor, and now that they've ran the reactor with it nano-coated, they've noticed that these field marks are ingrained into the nano coating on the inside of the reactor everywhere that the reactors are running.
We see this. We've seen this for years. There's nothing new. The reactors were mounted.
Nothing new for you, maybe.
Oh, I was spoken about this a few times, even in the plasma reactor. We see discharges. When you open the plasma reactors, you see burning spots. It's a discharge of the plasma. This is the release when, don't forget, it's got cores at the end of these lines. There are motors. We are looking now the motor taken off. So these are energy sources. And when they release suddenly a large energy, it just cuts into, it creates condition inside the core.
Okay, those are not inside the core. Those are the outside the core. This is Yeah, okay.
It's irrelevant because now you deal with a plasma. Plasma has no physical barrier.
Okay.
It's created both inside and outside.
Okay.
I've seen this. It's the interaction of the fields when they go through. It means when the energy of the plasma or the field in the line is very strong, and it moves through the structure of the nanomaterial and the solid material, then it comes to earth condition. You find if the system feeds back itself to the center and it creates the same kind of sparks or burning or transfer of energy. Caroline understood this very well, and you can use it in a very, very special way. It has a lot of applications.
凯师解释说，说这个我们就是以前看到过很多了，就是说这种是由于这个等离子体的这个能量的释放，所以它会在这个我们的这个反应器内部呢，也会有一些个就是这些个印记。那么后来我跟开始说，我说这个是在反应器的外部，开始说内外没关系啦，因为这个等离子体的话，从没有一个这个物理的这个界。就是没有这个边界，所以说只要这个能量会释放，那么就是说就会在这个它的周围会形成一些个就是相互作用，就会有这个印记，就是说这个包括是就是等离子体到我们地球形成这个我们地球的物质是一样的这个原理，说就这么多。
What happens is the inside comes from the interaction of the plasma of the core and the nanolayer plasmatic condition. The ones you see outside is the same thing, but as the plasma reduces, it moves back into trying to get back to the core and interacts with the surface. This, what you show, that's why I said, I love to see how far he can push this fat boy, because what you've shown, you see it all the time. You have the structure of the sun. This is the structure of the sun, the plasma. Then what happened? Gravitational magnetic field from the center push the plasma of the surface of the what we call the surface of the sun. In interacting, they lose their energy and then they get pushed back or pulled back to the gravitational point, and then they create a splash, what we see as like rings on the surface of the sun, like a drop of water. It's the same thing. There you see a drop. In your system, the field loses strength in such a way but gets pulled back that it touches the surface of the fat boy and creates the same burn as the plasma inside it. This is very, very common. It shows the plasma is past the boundary of the core. It's one of the first time you see it. So when you have the splashes on the surface outside, means what he's telling us that he has achieved a 20 centimeter or 10-meter field is 100% correct. The indication of it is these splashes or the intonation, because the field is plasmatic, gravitational magnetic field. It reduces to a point that the strength of the core pulls it back in, so it hits. It's what's called a plasma burn. You see in the original core, we see 2 or 3. And we see a number of them inside. This was, as I explained, a mystery for me for a long time, how they're produced. And then I found out, I realized that is the energy packages which they hit and disturb, or they do. But when you see it from outside, it means you're the first time a core has managed to show a very strong field coming out. This fat boy, if you get it right, you should fly. This is the clear indication of it. It's clear, it's creating a very strong magnetical field force. Now, you have to increase this to take a lift, or you have to increase your gravitational that you go down on the ground. This system is ready for flight. It's just that change your loading, change the loading of the reactors, you're 100% on the right track to move, because this is a clear indication the field is plasmatic, gravitational, and could be at least 10, 20 centimeters away from the wall. Because the plasma comes, it gets to the point that the field strength of the motor, gravitational field, pulls it back, and it comes with such a speed that it hits, and it's the transformation of the energy. It's not a physical hitting like by a stone. The hit, it opens up, changes the characteristics of the nanomaterial, and then you see this. This is a perfect. You just got to push it a little bit further, you will lift.
Curl had a couple of questions about that too. Maybe we should translate that first.
I
translate first.
Yeah.
OK. 开始解释。那个图嘛说，可能就是像我们的太阳的情况，然后你这个等离子体场到这里边有一个边界那么你这个场特别强的话，你就说出去之后呢，然后你这个就会变弱了，变弱以后呢，就会再吸引，就会被等离子再吸引回来，所以呢，就会在这个表面就会给你就说有一些个印记开始我们把这个叫做这个等离子体，就说烧痕吧，就是这个印记，然后还说我们这个的话其实这个 fatboy 很容易就会飞，你只要是制造一个，就说如果磁场特别强的话，那么就会飞起来。如果要是把引力场强的话，就会往下来吸引，就会增送说是这种情况还有说你可以改变这个就是反应器的这个材料，就说你可以装不同的材料，然后看看这个情况，就是这样子的。石头，你再翻译一下，看看有没有错。
就是只要改一下里面的这些配置，它可能会得到不一样的这个磁场和引力场，然后它随时都会飞。
对的。
Okay, so the questions from Kurl were question 1, how to decrease the maggrav field of the fat boy to the photon level, just like we can see some star formations sparking in the middle, or we can make a specific nanomaterial for that purpose.
No, don't change any, don't decrease your maggrav fields, increase your maggrav fields. You have to increase your fuel strength, because what you've seen here, if you can manage to push the field further out, it comes to a point that the field strength will reach the vibration of light, the strength of the vibration of light, and then you find the interaction with the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth will give you what we call the bright light. Originally, very first time it happened to you, you see part of the disk lighting up in different levels. It's a beautiful sight to see, because what happened, your 3 reactors cannot tune, and the field interaction changes till you get a full beginning of the system. When you get a what you call light from you're looking for a photon, is not a photonic, is a plasmatic, and then you find patches of light, because plasma, one here and one further up, one further closer, then till it comes that then you see a full light. This has happened to me many times. You see like a sparks, and then you find that because you achieve this sensation from outside, it means reload your reactors with a heavier mixture. Don't increase the amount. If you're using copper, go to one level higher. then you'll find out you're on the right track. This fat boy will do exactly what it's a what do you call it? It's a star. It's a planetary system. It cannot fail. It's just that you have to start learning how to adjust the fuel. Increase the mass of the fuel. Find a way that you do not create magnetic gaps that the fields can escape through. Try to get a very precise way of loading your reactors. You will see the lights. The light is not photonic, does not exist in the universe. The light you will see is the interaction of gravitational magnetic field of your system, 100% correct. You've shown it, you've done it. Now you find what happens, your magnetic gravitational field of your system will touch the Earth gravitational magnetic field. Residual, due to its interaction, will pull back and you will see the light. And the light you see from this is totally different than the light you see from let's say, a light bulb. It's a very transparent, it's very bright, and the brightness of it does not shine as one, it shines like this. It's a beautiful sight to see. I've done it many times, but then you take it to the next level. But reload your reactors. I wish I could if I could bring you with your fat boy here to Italy for a week, I'd fly you.
Mr. Kesh?
Yeah.
Is there a way to increase the mass of a GANs without changing a GANs?
You don't need to change the mass. You got to change the what do you call it? You have to increase the strength of it. This is it's a different way. You don't need to increase the mass. You have to increase the plasma.
Can we call it a MagRav mass then?
Yes, in a way, yes. But this system shows every indication to fly. It's there. It shows full capacity. And the more he's doing tests, the more he's confirming it.
Okay, there's
load it up with, if you go online, I just need to get you here, I'll fly you in no time. But you got to do it. I won't do it.
He's got a...
Get yourself, reassess the mixture, go to a heavier mixture by atomic mass, find out what you have loaded, and try to find a measurement. Your failure at the moment is that your reactors are not loaded equally. So you have a gap that the fields can go through, and where there is not a gap, you get a splashback. So just reload, totally empty your reactor, reload heavier materials, and then do not go by pushing it. Allow the field to build up, then you will move out very fast. I see you have a problem with your nanomaterials. They create like a rivers, I call it. These you have to find a way to cover it. These are part of the problem of your sparkling, because different layers create different gravity, so absorb the spectrum.
Okay, want me to translate?
Yeah,
sure.
Okay. 这个是说，这个问题是说我怎么样能降低这个，就是说磁引力场，这个使它降到这个光子的水平，然后说，因为我们想看到这个就是说它的这个亮光在中间，所以说还有说我们是不是要做特殊的纳米材料来达到这种情况开始说。你不是要降低这个磁引力场，你要增加这个磁引力场他说你这增加的磁引力场，他就在那画了一个大圆圈这圆圈往外走。他说你要让这个增加，然后走这个场出来以后呢，它和这个地球这个场的摩擦，然后产生这个光。他说这个不是说这个光子这个光子这个不 不那什么的，实际上是这个磁引力场跟这个地球场的摩擦的碎片是在这个可见光的这个范围之内，所以你看得见光。然后说这个光呢，你如果是等你要看到之后，我这顺序有点不那么，我就先顺着说了。说这个光呢，你看到的时候，这个光会比较透明，比较白，就是不是像跟我们电灯泡的这个光不是一样子的，它是比较透明，比较白。他说你会先看到一半，他说 half of it。我也不知道这个 half 是什么意思就是然后你会看到整个的光。他说你这个光会很漂亮，他说你到时候应该能看得见这是一个方面。另外一个方面呢，他说你要重新装你的这个反应器。要用一个就是说重一点的就是干丝元素，就是说你要这个质量上你要往高一层次上走这样呢会有更强的这个磁引力场同时呢他说你这几个可能也不太均匀，所以你还要把这几个就是说你要装的话呢，你要让他们要均匀一些这个场就是说它的这个轻跟重的意思，就是说你比如一开始你用 CH3 嘛，那么你再往上走的话就是 CO2 或者氧化铜，反正你要往上走，这样才能使这个场强。还有一个呢，说你这个纳米涂层呢做的就说要好一些嘛，可能是他说看见有 river， 就是说有河流的这个印记的意思就是说可能是不均匀，会有泄漏，所以说你要让这个就是说场强更能控制的更好一点。石头还有什么要补充吗？
说如果这个 Fat Boy 寄到意大利，他在1个月内可以让它飞起来。
对，然后他说他不会说让你养飞，但是说希望你能做到，就说让它飞。他说是如果对他不是1个月，好像1周。他说到意大利还一周就可以调整它让它飞。他说看到这个胖子的话就说是往这个正确的方向走，说应该是能成功的，能飞的。
Okay, maybe we can move into the last 2 questions here so we can get into the health workshop.
Says we just can gain a small energy from the Fat Boy. Let's say lighting a few 2.5 LED. Any suggestion how to make a progress? How are you draining the energy? This is the point. How have you connected the LED to the core? Can he explain?
This one we had did we show the pictures of last workshop? I think he connected. They have 2 nano, one from the Fat Boy from the top, the other from the bottom. He just connected them and then add the LED light. That's how he.
Can you repeat, Lisa? What do you say? One is connected to the core.
To the no, not the core. The top of the Fat Boy.
Yes.
The big black thing.
Fat Boy.
One is the top,
Okay.
one at the bottom.
Okay, no problem.
I don't think they have any beads right now, Mr. Cash, to do the interface.
Pardon?
Just the Fat Boy.
Yeah.
Use nano copper air.
Yeah, I don't think they're using any beads or any interface to receive any of the energy. They're just using the wires straight off of the reactor mounting.
That is exactly what Vince is talking about in a shortcut. You're 100% correct, Vince, is that now that you know how to do it and you've seen these splashes, make a bead chain with a light. Bead chain with a light, or a bead chain around the Fat Boy. I think you should do about 10 of them will do. Try, if you can, to make 2 in a way that you cover the equator and north to south. then you create a grid, and then connect the ends of one to the other, and you see your power demand connected to a light will increase. Make sure you go around the equator and make sure you go around the polarity. So what you do, you create a current flow of magnetic fields, and you create a rotation of the magnetic field from this. This could be a solution for you to control even your direction of flight when you come later on to it. So, and then feed this to exactly like a power supply as we done here, and then connect it to a plug and start draining energy. Then you should be able to see. Don't expect to drain energy from the system. When you connect it to the, what do you call it, to the grid or to another battery source, you start building it up, and maybe then you dictate the fringes of the plasma, and then you might be able to see the light as a sphere ball, because then you control it. You're very close. I wish you were here, and I bring, what's his name? Alex, put you together in the same day, more or less, you will show what you can do.
Okay.
Tell him if he can get a passport, I'll pay for his flight.
OK，开始先生说我先说好的吧，说如果你能够跟唐老鸭说如果你能够申请护照，我给你我付你机票，你来到这里跟 Alex 一天，你们就可以飞。这是这个最后一句啊，这个好消息。然后前面是解释说如何做这个电取电，然后呢开始问这电是怎么取的，我说就是上边和下边各引出一条线，就是各接一个线，然后灯放在中间就亮了。然后开始说问是说就是这么说的，说他们是没有短路的，是这个样子。然后同时呢开始建议说装一圈这个就是Alex的这个电池，你要装一圈呢放在这个赤道上边，然后再装一圈放在就是南北极。他说呢你把这个呢如果连在这个我们的电网上，你说你不取电连在电网上，也许会使你能够就说把这个系统建立起来，也许会你就能看见光了，一个光球。还有就是说你这个，而且以后呢，这个也有可能成为你以后如何控制这个反应器怎么样飞升就说这个如果这一圈电池呢，也可能成为这个的工具。还有什么就差不多这么多。然后 next question
The last question.
I think that would be a one-way flight, would it not be, Mr. Guest? You wouldn't pay for a return flight. He'd have to find his own way back.
Pardon?
I said he would have to find his own way back. I don't think you'd pay for a return flight because he could do it himself.
You never know. You never know. On the way, you can drop the Americans on the way home.
Okay.
刚才问是说可能买的机票可能是也单程的，你回程自己买，然后因为也可能回程怎么着，然后开始说你也不知道他能不能回来，就是说有可能美国佬可能在路上会被结束。
It gives incentive.
If you can get yourself here, we can do the rest. But make sure you bring the fat boy in a little suitcase.
然后开始说如果你能够就是来的话，我们会给你把这个就是说我们会把这个给做好。
Place a drop of dry blood around the fat boy for testing. What is inside the remote control? What is inside the remote control? Is it the same proportion of gas, which is the transformation? I don't understand what this means. Need translation?
I think I can paraphrase. He's saying if he places a drop of blood around the fat boy for testing, he's saying what's inside as the remote control to be able to control it with your own emotional side.
Would blood do that? And is it the same proportion of Ganges which is in the star formation that's inside of the fat boy? So if he had the same proportion of Ganges or something like that.
If you do it the right proportion, you can do it, but you got to make sure that it's in a state of Gans.
开始回答是，如果你能够做比例对的话，你可以做，但是你要确保这个比例对，这个干丝是相同的。我也没很懂这个问题啊。
Any other question?
Well, we should probably end it there and move into the health workshop for the next hour and a half or so.
The thing is that in the past week or 2 weeks, we've been teaching without answering many questions in depth. So on the health side, if you have any questions, you can ask. We try to answer many questions today.
Okay.
OK。刚才开始先说可能在下面就说几次教学当中，我们可能会就是说会回答一些问题，而且可能会比较深，就是说给回答比较深度的问题。所以说有什么问题呢，可以在健康教学里边，然后其他教学里边问。
Okay, so I guess we'll call this the end of the workshop for the 14th Chinese.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa, could you please respond back to my text on the Skype, please?
Okay, I saw it. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. 这个说可能我们现在就结束了这次教学，然后感谢大家。Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh, and thank you, Lisa, as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And Max.
Okay.
And others.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Vince.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Vince. Thank you all.
Okay, and so ends the 14th Chinese Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Tuesday, July 14th, 2015. And thank you, everyone, for attending.